Okay, are we on? Yeah, it says we're live. Welcome to Simon Chardiet's New York Stories. We're getting down to the last few chapters. I want to just have just one chapter. I'm going to talk about all the groups I played with. And then we're going to have another chapter. I'm going to talk about Rockaway, which was kind of like one of the last stands of the old New York. And then Hurricane Sandy. And then I'm kind of done because my theory is that the old New York died on Hurricane Sandy. So, uh, you know, uh, so I've got a few more, like I said, this isn't a tell-all about you know, all interband drama or I don't know, other kind of shit. This is supposed to be about New York, you know. So I got just a little bit about all these bands. Okay, the Slackers, I first became aware of them. This lady, Alexis, she told me about them, and I went down to see them, and they were playing, I think, Ludlow Street Cafe, which was like on the old block I used to live in, and they were great. They were great. They were playing real like first wave ska music. I was actually talking about that today to one of my music students, how the old ska, it took the third note of the swing triplet. So it's it comes off a swing triplet. So like all these more frantic sounding, like these ska bands that kind of the original guy like that. As a matter of fact, that note isn't on the old records from what I can hear. It's actually so I was talking about that, and the Slackers got that note. They got the we got any chats? I got a chat here. Sorry about this. Rick Kubik says do whatever that. All right, hi Rick, also known as Johnny Kick. And anyhow, so they had that swing triplet sound, the old ska. I really liked it. They remind me a little bit of Joey Miserable and the Worms too. So they were, all those guys were about 15 years younger than me, so they were kind of like my little brothers, and Bar Sinisters, we played some shows with them, and so I worked at Coyote Recording Studios in the old Williamsburg before it became the hipster occupied zone. And they came in, they asked me to play on their record. This would be about 1997, and I did. And I'm proud to say I'm on Red Light on 2 songs. I'm on The Question on a song, and I'm on Wasted Days on a song. So I did get up, as graffiti, writers say. I got up on some Slackers stuff. Proud of that. Did a band with Vic Ruggiero from the Slackers called the Mooks. Did that for a while. Did a band with Dave Hilliard from the Slackers called the Blue Greens. We were playing more straight ahead jazz. So I'm proud. Okay, then we have Rancid. I'm working at Coyote. Rancid is recording at Coyote. And I tell Albert, preach Simon to him. I want to get up on this record. So Lars and Tim come out and they say, hey man, you want to play on a song? And I came back, I think the next day, and I played with a hollow body guitar, a hollow body Gibson, and I played like a twangy surf part on the song Turntable. So I was in and out of there in 15 minutes, and they gave me $100. It's fun, man. It was like the session punk, all right, and then we got here Flat Duo Jets, same thing. They were recording in Coyote. Bill Miller from the A-Bones and from Kicks Magazine and all that stuff. And, he's one of the top record collectors in the world, along with the Hound. I still listen to the Hound. Whenever I put on rock and roll, I just put on the Hound. in the morning, whatever. And I still listen to the Hound. He shows even better than ever, to tell you the truth. He's at the top of his game now. You should listen to the Hound. Anyway, so Bill Miller comes out. He goes, "Hey, man, you want to play in this Flat Duo Jets record?" And I was like, hell yeah. I'd been to see him a couple times. They played at Brownies. I went to see him, you know. And was a lot of, yeah, thank you for putting up that link. Yeah. Kids, you should listen to the Hound if you like real fucking music, real rock and roll. All right, not like Coldplay, Oasis. I don't know. You know, listen to the real fucking thing. Okay. Now, so anyway, Flat Duo Jet. So I talked to Dexter for a minute. Went in there. I was like, I got one of the other kids at Coyote. Can you watch the desk? And we made the whole record in about half an hour. It's called Two Great Guitars. It's on Norton. It's me, Dexter, and Crow. We're just went to the studio and like, well, what are we gonna play? Hey, let's do some songs by the Fireballs. So we did two Fireballs songs. I love the Fireballs guitar. Rick Kubik, also known as Johnny Kicks, says, "Yo, Simon, how are you, Rick? It's good to hear from you. Thank you for making the comments. Keep those comments coming. All right. I haven't been on in a while because I've been practicing. All right, we got some more stories here. I played in the Senders. I used to go see the Senders. They were an old Max's band. They used to play Max's in like 76, 77. I think the first time I saw them was 76, 77. And I saw them also play. They used to do Rock Against Races and stuff. And I saw them play in Central Park. And I was a big fan. You know, they were like right up my alley. They were kind of like one foot in rhythm and blues, rockabilly, old greasy R&B, and one foot in punk. You know, like the way all the early punk bands, each of them had their own style that was different from the other punk bands. And the Senders, they used to open up for Heartbreakers a lot also, and they used to play around. And then they they asked me to play with them, so that was fantastic. We had like you know, Ned Brewster was a drummer, a fantastic drummer. We had different bass player every gig. So we had Richie Lore, we had Walter's brother Richie. You know, God rest him. He's left us now, and Walter's left us. But Richie Lore, we had Chris Cush from the Guitar Store playing with us for a bit. We had Danny Lee. He was the great fucking match in that band. He just was nice, groovy bass player. We had other cats, but I can't. I think I played bass from a few times. Uh, and Wild Bill Thompson, he's passed away now too, on guitar. He was great to play with. We just hit it off. It was like playing with Zahn or playing with Jono. Like we just like fucking meshed, you know, or playing with Vic Ruggiero, where it's just like you just mesh. You just get together and it's like you don't really talk about rehearsing it, play the fucking song, and it just works, you know. And then Flipper on vocals, Philippe Marquet, you know, uh, and I played with them from like 93 to 97. So I was with them for quite a while. And we actually went over to Paris and played in Paris one time. It was like only the second time I'd ever played in Europe. The first time I was playing in the subway, right? See the Down and Out in Paris episode. And I'll never forget, we were starving. We were on the plane. I don't eat airplane food. We're fucking dying. No sleep, no food. We're trying to find somewhere to eat. And Bill couldn't take it anymore. He walked into a McDonald's, and in English, he pounds on the counter, "Give me a Big Mac! I want a Big Mac!" You know, Bill was a big guy, man, you know? And I guess he got his Big Mac, and we were staying in one of those micro hotels. It was fucking hilarious. It's like you turn this fucking thing, it's like a revolving door, and there's like a fucking toilet on one side and a shower on the other, and the thing turns around, you know. But it was fantastic to get to play Paris, man. You know, that's back when you could take a good guitar on the plane. They weren't as dedicated to losing your guitar or not letting you take it or something. So, uh, yeah, the Senders, it was always fun. We played like Continental, Coney Island High. Man, where else did we play? Probably McGovern's, but it was always really funny. It was a lot of fun. You know, Philippe wound up being my roommate later, which was a mixed bag of things. You know, it was a mixed bag, but I gotta tell you, you know, he was a funny guy. I remember him for his fucking sense of humor and his. I love the way I loved his take on the English language. It was fantastic because he's French, right? So I loved his take on the English language, and also one time he fucking copped like an entire case of this really fancy French men's aftershave lotion. He copped it off the back of a truck or something, and he was flogging it off on Manhattan Avenue in Brooklyn, right? But he gave me one bottle, and it made you smell like a fucking pimp. I mean, it was some pimp smelling shit. So that's the Senders. Okay, one time I'm playing with the Senders. We played Coney Island High. We go into the dressing room, and who's hanging out in the dressing room? Lemmy. All right, Lemmy from fucking Motorhead. All right, I'm a huge Motorhead fan. I love Motorhead. When I was a kid, I was like 12 or 13. I used to hear that record, Silver Machine, on the radio. I didn't know it was Lemmy. I didn't know it was Hawkwind. I just knew I liked Silver Machine because and it had and then I realized it was Hawkwind. And you know, if you're like a 12 or 13-year-old boy, you know, you're going to dig Hawkwind because you're going to dig Stacia. You know, how could you not dig Stacia? You know what I mean? And I dug me some fucking Hawkwind. So then I heard about Motorhead, and I read in the English papers they were the worst band in the world. So I was like, let me dig these cats. If they're the worst band in the world, you know, let me check them out. And I always loved me some Motorhead. So I go in there, it's Lemmy, and so I just said hi to him, and he was just like talking to one of your neighbors. He was like just like talking to any kind of working class English guy you might talk to on the underground or something. Just totally fucking down to earth, normal guy. And like when we were hanging out, him and Bill smoked some cigarettes, but I didn't see him do any speed. I didn't see him do any drinking even. You know, um, he seemed completely like, you know, he was a cool guy. I mean, I didn't bug him much. I did ask him about how he set up his bass. Like, what bass did you play on Ace of Spades? How did you get that sound? And he told me what to do to the bass, the Rickenbacker bass. And I wound up doing it to my Rickenbacker bass. Uh, and then his huge discussion for an hour and a half on World War II. They're all like, we're all in it, like me, Bill, and Lemmy were all like World War II fanatics. But like these guys, their level of knowledge on the whole subject, they were talking about what battle and what regiment and you know, like all this shit. So that was great. And then usually when I play a gig, I get out of there pretty quick. I want to go home. If I'm taking the train home, I usually practice on the way home. Usually when a gig's over, my goal is to start playing again as soon as possible. But this time, I hung out for the whole thing because I'm hanging out, and you know, I'm hanging out with Lemmy, you know. And then they came and they threw us out, and they said to I said to Lemmy, they go, you got to leave, you got to go, got to go. The guy didn't know who Lemmy was. He's the bouncer. He was like, come on, we got to go. Everybody's got to leave. I said, Lemmy, you going to let him talk to you like this? And he goes, yes. And he just walks out in the street alone, down St. Mark's Place alone, just disappears into the night. So fucking cool. Uh, okay, what do we got here? So then I wound up, I can't read my own fucking handwriting. Oh my God, I got to play with Sleepy LaBeef. That was a trip. That guy's like 5 times my fucking size, man. He's like, you know, 6'7" or something, 300 pounds, like huge guy. He's literally twice, he displaces more than twice the mass that I do. And then he was great. He was great. He used to, if he didn't like the drummer or what somebody was playing, he used to go, you better get right, son. You better get right, son. And he had the big cowboy hat. We played 2 nights. It's fantastic. I got a picture of it someplace. All right, let me see who else. Uh, when when I was playing with the Slackers, I got to play on a record that the great Larry McDonald plays percussion on. He's a little bit older than me. He's probably around 80. He's a little bit older than me, but he's still playing. And he's just such a lovely human being, such a lovely gentleman, such a fantastic musician. So I got to play with Larry McDonald, and I got to play on that Wasted Days record. The great Glenn Adams was producing one of the songs, and I got to like hang out with him. And then, you know, I got to play. I believe it or not, I got to play with Mojo Nixon. He just same thing, Coyote. It's a little earlier into the 90s. Albert gives me a call. We're there in the studio. Mojo Nixon comes in right off the plane. Didn't have any songs, any preparation, any idea what he's going to do. He just came in and, you know, we just started playing and trying to work shit out, you know, when we did that Whereabouts Unknown record. We had to like write everything in the studio while like the clock was running. I think he had like a giant suitcase full of cocaine or something, but no songs. But that was a lot of fun. Who else do I got here? So then, well, those are just somewhat, you know, the things. Then I got to play with Public Nuisance. I always dug Public Nuisance. Ran into John Velarde, and he told me about it. And it was like kind of rescued me from the hardcore scene. By about 1990, I just was disillusioned with going to CB's hardcore matinees, you know, and it's like, you know, there was a generation gap too. I'm like an old fucking punk, like a fucking, you know, not the first wave, but like the second wave, like the, you know, 1979, 1980, you know, like all the guys that said me too and I want to be a punk too and jumped on the bandwagon after they saw somebody else do it. That's me. So now this new thing coming along. So played with Public Nuisance. Didn't play with them for very long, but it was great. I remember we played like the 696 Club out there in Brooklyn on Greenpoint, and we played like what the fuck else did we play at? We played in Montreal and we played at Peterborough, Ontario. That was great. Like some of these New York guys, I didn't even know them, but there was some New York punks that got beat up by some skinheads or something. So I said, get in the van. I had this big Dodge van. I was like, we're going back to New York. We'll take you home. Come on, get in, man. And so the whole van was like just packed with equipment, Public Nuisance, and then all these other, you know, punters. I didn't know them even. I was just like, come on, I'll take these back home, you know. So then they grabbed us at the border and they roused us. They just take one look at us and they were like, all right, get out of the fucking van. And then they're grabbing me and they're looking at, I got a lot of fucking scars on my arm. My arms are all fucked up from, you know, like scars, blown up veins and shit. They grabbed me. All right, when's the last time you did drugs? I said, about 8 years ago. And they grabbed me and I had NA keychains and they were like, what is this? I was like, it's Narcotics Anonymous. It's like, it's, you know, and then they grabbed Julian Snake Thrower, and he don't do no drugs, doesn't even smoke pot, but he does like a beer now and then. They grab him and they smell his wallet. The guy's sniffing. I can just smell the drugs coming out of this wallet. Tell me what you got in here and I'll make it easy on you. And Julian says to him, what you're smelling is 10 years of my ass. So boom, they threw us in these fucking cells, handcuffs, the whole fucking thing. They locked us up. They were like, we can hold you here indefinitely. And then they just kind of got disgusted with us. It was like 20 of us. So, oh, we got more chat. Yay, keep the chats coming. Yo, Simon. Andrew Summers, love hearing Coyote stories. So do I. I miss that place, man. I love these I love when people contact me on a chat too. So that was great playing with Public Nuisance. We played the Rat in Boston also, and that was about it. I didn't play with them for very long, but much love to Julian, to Johnny V, to Bat. Bat and me weren't in the band at the same time, but to Bat, Jimmy Fowl. He's playing with the FUs now. Hello, Jimmy. We played this fucking squat, Dos Blocos. It was so much fun. I could get away with playing as loud as I fucking wanted to play. As a matter of fact, I finally, how loud is too loud? That's how I found out in Public Nuisance. I never played that loud again. I actually cut it back. Even for me, it was too much. So those are some of the bands I played with. Then the phone rang. It was like I had this really crazy day bike messengering. I went to work. It was 55 degrees. I had like cut off army pants, two hoodies, and like just like one of those Gordon's fishermen, those plastic fucking rain joints. All of a sudden, the temperature starts plummeting. It goes down to like 10 degrees, and it's a fucking snowing. And I'm riding in the snow and the ice, and like everybody else bailed. I'm the only messenger left there, and Dominic's saying, "Simon, don't go home with me. Don't go home with me, man." Everybody else bailed. So like I had just like a pair of leather gloves, two pairs of cotton socks. As we all know, if it gets wet and cold out, cotton is the kiss of death. So like I had so many fucking runs. I was holding like fucking 20 tags on me at all times. I'm trying to bang out these runs. I just want this shit to be over. And I'm going down 6th Avenue, and it's like snow up to my rims, ice. Right behind me is a New York City snowplow, like riding my fucking wheel. If I go down, this guy's going to hit me. If I'm not dead, I'd wish I was dead. Okay, it was like my, my my balls were here. I go around the corner, and this car's honking at me, and then he goes, "I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna kill you!" And it was like I didn't even think about it. I just punched the window of his car, and the whole window like crashed, and I just got the fuck out of there. I broke his fucking window. My hand was like, now my hand is puffy and it hurts and it's swollen. I fucked up my hand. I didn't make a tight enough fist, Fucked myself up. At least I fucked his window up. So I go home the next day. The waves are like 20 feet. And it's like February, and I'm looking at these waves, and it's just so fucking big. There's one guy out, Kazu, straight out of Japan, also a bike messenger. He's surfing, and I didn't have a winter suit. I had the shittiest little 4.3 that I got for $100. I I just so I'm like going home. I'm like, should I go out? Should I go out? Phone rings. Hi, this is John Spencer. Somebody gave me your number. We really need an upright bass for the studio, and it's snowing and snowing. I go, when do you need a bass? He goes, right now. And I'm like, he goes, we'll get you a car. We'll get you a car. I said, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna take the train there. I'm leaving right now. Take the money you're going to spend on a taxi for me and just give me it instead. He goes, you sure? He said, I took the train, went all the way down there to the village with my upright bass in a blizzard, and I played on a Blues Explosion track. It was like the last album they ever made. And then I took the train back. I think I was I made the last train before they shut down the subway I got. I made it home, made a little money. Hey, Donut Head. Oh, Jennifer Eggs says, hey, Donut Head. So, so those are some of the. Then I got cold and I played in Heavy Trash. That was like Matt Verderay. Matt Verderay played with Rick Kubik. He played. They were in this band of Black Flies, or Matt Rose and stuff like that, where Rick was the drummer. So it was like Matt and then John Spencer, and they called me, and I played with them for a pretty long time too. I think almost like 4 years or something, and that was a great experience for me because like I've always just played a little tiny bar with no stage, over in the corner, usually a TV set on, just playing for my handful of fans, and all of a sudden I'm playing these big festivals for like 5,000 people, 2,000 people, and I'm staying in a hotel and flying and got roadies and everything, and that was fantastic. We must have toured Europe about 12 15 some odd times. We toured Australia. That was I didn't want to leave Australia. I cried when we left. I'd still be there if they would have. If there's some way I could have fucking like abandoned ship, I'd still be in Australia. Japan, the same thing. We toured Japan. I didn't want to leave. I'm like, yo, you know, and that was a fantastic experience too. And then I've always kind of had a raving hump against Sonic Youth because I feel like I've never gotten any attention from the rock press. I've never gotten. I was in New York Times last year though, but I never got too much attention from the rock press or like the media. There's other people, friends of mine, that get written about all the time or get more record deals, whatever. And I always kind of had the raving hump against Sonic Youth. I felt like everybody was swinging off their balls and and I never got it. It didn't sound to me like fucking Eddie Lockjaw Davis or fucking Kachow. It didn't swing. It didn't have any. It was like just kind of like music for people that go to college. And so I never got it. So uh, there was this one roadie on the John Spencer tours. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna do sound for Sonic Youth, yeah, Sonic Youth, and he's just name dropping, and I'm kind of nauseated. I'm sitting in the back with Sam Baker and Bloodshot Bill. So we get to Hamburg. Now I love Hamburg. I've played there a bunch of times. So these guys are like, yeah, we're gonna go to the Reeperbahn. I was like, good luck. So the roadie, the Sonic Youth bragging ass roadie, he goes to the Reeperbahn and he goes in and has a drink. And some girl comes up to him, starts talking to him, and he thinks, hey man, I'm Sonic Youth roadie, man. The girls love me because I'm the roadie for Sonic Youth, who got so it's like the classic, the oldest fucking scam in the world where they order champagne and it's probably like fucking grape soda or something. And then at the end of the night, they come out like 2,000 euros with the bill. And he was like, but I cannot pay this. This is not regular. All I did is 3 bottles of champagne. A bottle of champagne costs 20 euros. And they're arguing. And then these giant, like fucking, like no neck, like steroid guys come out. Now there's these 3 giant, like gangsters standing right behind him. And they literally frog marched him to an ATM machine. He had to like max his credit card out and give him like all his fucking money. So then we're in the van the next day, and now he's like in massive credit card debt. He's lost all his money. He got tricked, and it's like, I was like, I thought you fucking European guys were fucking sophisticated and shit. I thought you were smarter than us Yanks. I said, that's the fucking oldest fucking shit in the world, man. How could you fucking fall for that? I thought you fucking European guys were smart. Supposed to be smarter than us, right? So that was my fucking revenge on Sonic Youth. So and my daughter was playing on a bill with Sonic Youth. I was like, what band is this? It sounds like a bunch of fucking hippies. It sounds like Sonic Youth. And my daughter gets mad at me. She pokes me in the chest. Dad, that is Sonic Youth. It sounds like a bunch of fucking hippies to me. I don't know. So those are all my bad stories. And I got like, I'll tell you 2 more things. I'll tell you like a couple of more stories. Zahn, I got a phone call from him and, yeah, nice shirt. Where'd I steal it, right? Where the fuck I steal the shirt? Where? I got a call from Zahn and he was kind of displeased with me. He was yelling at me because the Bar Sinisters, as a tribute to him, we were playing his songs. And he always said this is for the great Zahn Data. And he was really mad about it. And he was yelling at me. And I hadn't spoke to him in years. I hadn't spoken to him in probably like 6 years. And he was really mad at me. And I was like, I'm sorry. I just did it as a tribute. I love your music. And he was yelling at me about it. And then he slammed down the phone. And like the next day he died. And I was like, what happened to him? He died in an SRO hotel on 101st Street in Broadway, where like that's where the SROs used to be, right in my old neighborhood. And it turns out the guy from the guitar store said he came in, he had a Les Paul Jr. He sold to the guitar store for like not very much money, and then the next day he died. So, he sold his guitar, got some money, went out and got nice, and he did too much, and he passed away. And like, Zahn, I love your music, that's why I play it. I wanted to keep it so people could hear it, but it's like, I'm so sorry you died so young. You would be still today like a lot younger than me, and I'm sorry we didn't do more things. So, and so that's that covers me from about like 1990 to 2002 when I moved to Rockaway. So like I said, we probably got like 2 more episodes. This is number 47, by the way. I'm going to get back to practicing. Let me tell a few things that I'm playing Auto Shrunken Head Saturday, February 5th at 3:45 in the afternoon. It's like Saturday matinee. So like, until about 6. It's my birthday, the 3rd, and it's my 33 years clean the next day, Sunday. So it's kind of like my birthday and like, clean anniversary week, and I'm playing a gig. It's like the greatest birthday present I could have is to go play a gig. It's going to be Simon and JJ. I'm not playing out in here Rockaway. I'll play out in the boardwalk in the summer, like I'll play Rippers, maybe 97th Street, but I'm not really playing. The whole bar scene out here has gone all like cover bands and classic rock, and it's like, it's okay. I don't want to do. I'm not gonna go really play like bar restaurant gigs where I'm kind of like background entertainment. I'm not doing that shit anymore. I'm just gonna do my own thing and play my own music and be a fartiste. So I'll play the boardwalk out here in the summer outdoors, and I'll play in Manhattan. So that's like, I'm not doing bar band gigs anymore. Like just play a bar and play in a corner and deal with drunks that want to hear like, fucking Eagles and shit. So not doing that anymore. But I'm playing Autos this Friday night, January 14th, around 8:30 or 9. Then I'm playing Autos February 5th, and I'm playing the Parkside Lounge February 28th. So playing in the city, going to record another punk record with Chris Ara from Murphy's Law and the Zombie Vandals and the Craze. We're going to do like a EP, should be coming out pretty soon. And that's what I've been up to. So I'm going to go on and get back to practicing. I'm rehearsing for this EP. I got to get all my parts down good, because it's one thing to think you know a song. It's another thing when you get into the studio and the tape's rolling and the pressure's on. Then you would see how good you know the song. It's a whole different fucking thing. So, mwah, I love you. Simon Chardiet's New York Stories, number 47. Thank you to Tim Hill, who got this whole fucking thing rolling in the first place back in 2013, 2014, when he started interviewing me. And over and out. Love you very much. Thank you.